In this video, we explain the vector mask. We know the pixel mask, a white mask, a black mask, which is formed by the brush, the gradient, the clone tool, the healing brush, etc. A vector mask is created by a vector tool, being the pen tool and the shape tool. In order to work well with a vector mask, it is necessary that you have a good knowledge of the pen tool. Before we start the video about a vector mask, let's go over the most important actions to modify a pen path. The pen you can find here. And with a right click, you see, and click there, and that's the regular pen tool. Now, I put an anchor point and I put a second anchor point, and that's a path. The path you can find here. But if you don't have that path panel, you go to Window and click on it, and then there it is, and click on it, and you will have the path panel. So we draw a pentagon, 3, 4, and 5. To move a line from the path, hold down Ctrl, then pick the line to move it. When having a new path, the first time you want to do this, you will see that the entire path moves with it. While holding down Ctrl, click once outside the path, and from now on you can move this and all the other lines and also the anchor points. While holding down Alt, click on an anchor point and drag it to the right. You get a curve, including 2 handles. If the handle causes the path to become crossed, drag it in the opposite direction. If you let go the Alt key and then press it again, you can operate each handle separately. If you release all keys and move the pen over a line, a plus sign will appear indicating that, if you click, you can place an extra anchor point, including 2 handles. And as shown before, if you press Alt down, you can again operate each handle separately. If you hover over an existing anchor point, a minus sign will appear, and when you click, you can delete that anchor point. So let's have a short recap. Using a new path, first press Ctrl and click outside the path. If you don't, you will move the whole path. Holding down Ctrl, you can move a line or an anchor point. Holding down Alt and drag to the right, you get 2 handles. You get a curve. If the handle causes the path to become crossed, drag it in the opposite direction. And if you release Alt and then hold down Alt again, you can operate each handle separately. If you release all the keys and hover over a line, you can add an anchor point, including 2 handles. If you release all the keys and hover over an existing anchor point, a minus point will appear, and by clicking, you delete this anchor point. Let me show you the difference between a pen path and a vector mask. And we start with a pen path. On pexels.com, I found this photo, and beforehand I made a path with the necessary imperfections. We right-click in the path to make a selection of it, and then create a mask. We place a solid color layer under this layer, and lower the opacity. Notice that I can't see all the imperfections. For every imperfection, I now draw a new pen path, convert it into a selection, and with the brush, I modify the mask. A pretty tedious job. And now we need a little bit of casting. This is how we can correct a selection made with just a pen. Now let's do the same correction using a vector mask. We highlight the pen path, so don't make a selection. While the path is highlighted, we create a solid color layer. By doing it this way, we make a vector mask, as you can see here. In the right corner, you see that little square. By lowering the opacity, we can now see the imperfections, unlike using the pen tool. Click on the layer with the vector mask, and the path will appear. Take the pen tool and hold down the Ctrl key and click. All anchor points and handles will now appear. The path can now be easily modified. Holding down Ctrl, I can move the path with the pen tool. Holding down Alt, I can modify the path with the handles. Vector Mask is a perfect tool to make a good selection. Now let's look at an example of how to use vector masking in the post-processing of an architecture image. The image shown here shows a lot of potential were it not for the fact that there are numerous disturbing elements in the background, and for this reason we will replace it with a beautiful blue sky. Here is the sky, and we're going to copy that background on our architectural image. Then we highlight the path, and don't make a selection. With Ctrl hold down and click here, we create our vector mask. When we look in the mask, we can see that the bridge is selected and not the sky, so we must reverse the path. To do that, we need to activate the three parts of our path simultaneously. We do this by holding Ctrl and Shift simultaneously and then clicking with the pen on each part of the path. We click in the option bar on Path Operations, deactivate the current selection by choosing another selection, and then choose Combine Shapes. We zoom in and we're going to modify the first part of the path. To keep a good view on the shape of the bridge, we lower the opacity of the solid color layer. While holding down Ctrl, we will move this anchor point. And so we do for the other anchor points. To see the final result, we increase the opacity back to 100%. Note that I go 1 to 2 pixels into the building each time with the path that's not visible and gives you razor-sharp edges. Let's have a look on the second part. Hold Ctrl down and move that line. In order to work properly, we lower the opacity. And holding down Ctrl, we move the anchor points. Clicking on the anchor point while holding down Alt and dragging to the right, recreate two handles. Releasing Alt and press Alt again, and we can move each handle separately. Holding down Ctrl, we can move the anchor point. To see the result, we increase the opacity again to 100%. And now the third part of the sky. By hovering over the path, we can create an anchor point. And while holding down Ctrl, we can move it. And we do this again. Holding down Alt, we work with the handles. Holding down Ctrl, we can move with the anchor points. And with the opacity at 100%, we can see the final results. So far, we made a vector mask by first making a selection with the pen tool and then, while holding down Ctrl, clicking on the mask button. There is also another and very useful way that gives a very nice result. Here we go. We go to the option bar and select Layer and then Vector Mask. There are two options, Reveal All and Hide All. We choose Reveal All. The pen tool should be set on the Subtract Front Shape option. We take the pen and make a pen path. We subtracted a part of the image. If we look to the vector mask, what was initially white, the cutout part now is gray. If we choose Combine Shapes, the vector mask will be reversed. To make changes in the path operations, the path must be active. We start all over again, go to Layer, Vector Mask and select Hide All. This time, the pen tool must be set to Combine Shapes. Our vector mask is totally gray. By making a path, we now reveal a part of the image. And if we go in path operations, we can reverse the vector mask. This by setting the pen tool to subtract front shapes. And now we have exactly the same as if we had used the Reveal All option. In our vector mask, the cutout part is black and all the rest is white. Let's make an exercise. Go to Layer, Vector Mask and Reveal All. In path operations, we choose Subtract. We create a path for the parts we want to cut out of the image. And everything in the vector mask becomes transparent. In the vector mask, we see that the cutout parts are now gray. We create a solid color layer and put it underneath the existing layer. And here you have a first very nice result. We can modify the pen path. And from now you can put any background, a beautiful sky or a crazy canvas into the picture. And at any time you can adjust the vector mask. This is a very nice way to use the vector mask.